My name is Garima Arora, and I am the chef and the owner of Restaurant Ga, and here in Bangkok. The criteria for getting a star are very vague. It's not very clear, and um, I think the first way to get it is not to go after it. That should not be your goal. Your goal should be higher standards for your own self, for your own team, for your own business, for your own career, your own cooking skills. Everything else follows. Yeah, I mean, in so many ways it's only because it's a very physically demanding profession. It's not easy for women to do this job. And it's still the same. It's not easy for women to uh, get to a point where, your hard work get to a point where you're recognized or where you are able to achieve higher accolades. It's because that requires a lot of time away from family, from loved ones, from everything else in life. Now you have women whose priorities are different. So yeah, I think that's the major change. And now cooking is kind of almost a white collar job. It's an intellectual persuasion. I think you have Harvard graduates wanting to get into kitchen. You have food scientists who are spent their entire thesis on fermentation in food. So suddenly a more scientific and a more cerebral approach to food kind of makes it, not so much of a blue collar job anymore. Well, almost white collar. Work harder. Don't think of holidays. You don't need them. I wish somebody had told me this in my 20s, that you don't need holidays. You don't need to go on vacations. All your downtime, you should be in the kitchen working, interning, staging, picking up new skills. That would be one. Second would be, to learn basic accounting, learn basic business running skills. Once you run it once, you know how to do it, but the first time can be a little bit painful. So I always tell everybody that if you want to become a chef, you're just not cooking in the kitchen. You have to step out and understand the bigger picture. The idea is to pay homage to our techniques, our culinary history, our heritage. I guess the biggest is to draw umami from vegetables, right? For me, it's always a 4-prong approach to cooking savory vegetables. I think you always first, for me at least, you start with fat, which is the medium of cooking. We have so many different kind of fats in India, or oils in India, right? From coconut to mustard to obviously vegetable oils to ghee to it's so many different forms of fat that allow transmission of flavor. I guess that for me is always a beginning point. The second is, of course, a technique of puna, the technique to layer flavors and roast or caramelize. The Mayat technique that you do with meat is easily possible with vegetables as well, where you caramelize the sugars in vegetables to give it more depth and flavor. That is obviously second. The third is cooking, adding stocks and gravies and soups or whatever have you, and then cooking on charcoal and fire. I think combination of these four is probably the best way to draw umami from vegetables, and I always tell that to all chefs.